You're scrolling through your phone and a photo from 3 years ago appears. You stare at it, a birthday party, a beach vacation, a random Tuesday night, and you realize you have zero memory of that moment. It's gone completely, and it's not just that day. Nearly every moment you've ever lived has already been erased, and your brain did the erasing without asking permission. So here's the question: why does your brain work so hard to make sure you forget almost everything? Psychologist George A. Miller famously published a paper in 1956 called The Magical Number 7, plus or minus 2. He was at Princeton and he found that your conscious working memory can only hold about 7 chunks of information at once. 7, that's it. Every second, millions of sensory inputs, sights, sounds, textures, temperatures flood into your brain, but only a tiny handful ever reach your awareness. The rest are filtered out before you even knew they existed. Your conscious mind is a tiny stage, and most sensory input never even gets on it. Hermann Ebbinghaus, a German psychologist, took this further in 1885. He donated his own brain to science by memorizing nonsense syllables and then testing his own recall at intervals. He discovered the forgetting curve. Within 1 hour, you forget about 50% of new information. Within a week, 90% is gone. That lecture you sat through yesterday was likely forgotten before you left the room. And that's not a failure, it's standard operating procedure. Your brain is a sieve by design. But only some stick, and here is why. Neuroscientist James McGaugh has spent decades at the University of California, Irvine, studying how memories are consolidated. His key finding from the early 2000s: your brain tags experiences with a tiny squirt of adrenaline and stress hormones whenever something emotionally intense happens. That tag signals your amygdala, a small almond-shaped structure, to tell the rest of the brain, this one matters, keep it, latch onto it. Memories without that emotional tag fade. That everyday commute, that sandwich you ate on Tuesday, that conversation in the hallway, all gone. Your brain decides what's worth keeping based on how it made you feel. But how does your brain actually hold onto those emotionally charged moments? This leads to an even stranger revelation. Even the memories that do survive aren't what you think. Elizabeth Loftus, a cognitive psychologist, has been demonstrating since the 1970s that memory is not a recording. It's a reconstruction, edited every time you retrieve it. She's shown that you can implant false memories in people with nothing more than a few suggestive questions. Every time you recall a past event, your brain reassembles the pieces, often adding new details or losing old ones. The memory that feels so vivid might be closer to a story told by an unreliable narrator. Even the memories you think you have are edited every time you retrieve them. But some neuroscientists see forgetting not as a flaw, but as a feature. Paul Franklin and Blake Richards published a study in 2017 in the journal Neuron, arguing that the primary purpose of forgetting is to allow your brain to generalize and make smart decisions. If you remembered every trivial detail, your mind would be overloaded with irrelevant data, making it harder to predict what matters now. Forgetting the exact angle of your car keys on the table helps you recognize keys in general. So forgetting, they claim, is adaptive. It's pruning for efficiency, not just waste. Your brain actively works to forget so you can use patterns. But even that doesn't fully explain the sheer scale of the filter. Consider this: your brain's reticular activating system and thalamus gate nearly all sensory input before it ever reaches your cortex. An estimated 99.9% of incoming signals are blocked before you become aware of them. That means for every one thing you notice, 999 others are discarded. The emotional tagging system only captures a fraction of what's left. So here is what is actually known. We know that most of your life leaves no neural trace. We know that what you call memory is a tiny, heavily edited highlight reel, curated by ancient survival circuits that care more about danger and reward than about your personal narrative. And we know you have no direct access to the past, only your brain's current best guess at what might have mattered. So look at that photo again. The person in the image was genuinely experiencing that moment. You were there, but the memory is not just forgotten. It probably never fully existed in the first place. Your brain didn't lose it, it never committed it. You are experiencing a heavily curated highlight reel, and the editor is an ancient system that doesn't care about your sense of identity. It only cares about keeping you alive long enough to pass on your genes. And you won't even remember this conversation by tomorrow.